You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content this morning, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Heather Stratman, Association of California Cities. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. A lot going on this morning, but we always start each and every day with a little bit of a celebration. Although today I saw the celebrations and I'm going, I don't know about this one. Today, National Ex-Spouse Day. Not sure how many people are celebrating that one, so we can go with National Reach as High as You Can Day. Sounds a little bit better to me than National Ex-Spouse Day, although I don't have an ex-spouse, so I probably don't know a whole lot of what I'm speaking there, but I do know a lot of people, and I'm not sure a whole lot of them are celebrating their ex-spouse. Just a personal opinion right there. Personal opinion. Yeah, I do that on a regular basis here, Ron Siegel Radio. Personal opinion. Holy cow. Are you seeing what's going on? Yesterday, we got I gotta love this one. It's not kosher, but we did get the pig report came out yesterday. And it's a congressional pig report by Citizens Against Government. And they talk about the waste in our federal government. And I saw a few of them. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for studies of what shrimp do on treadmills. Can't make this stuff up, folks. $40 million for M1 Abrams tank upgrades that the Department of Defense didn't want. In fact, they've got 2,000 tanks that are parked in the California desert. They don't use them, they don't need them, but we did appropriate $40 million to upgrade them. Gotta wonder. How about $255 million for two F-35 fighter jets for a program that's 4 years behind, $170 billion over budget, and most of all, the jets, in many instances, are deemed unsafe for flight. Let's give them another $255 million. And here, this just tells you about some of our politicians in Washington. $56.6 million to fight drug trafficking. Okay, I can understand that, but it's drug trafficking in border states. On the border, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and you gotta love this one. I don't know which border they're fighting traffic on in Hawaii, but they're part of the allocation of $56.6 million. Oh yeah, by the way, they threw in Arizona and New Mexico just so they could have something that might have been on a border. Unbelievable. I think that some of these might have been dealt with along in the Clinton administration when she was secretary, or maybe when she was senator, but at least she pops in every once in a while to give us her 2 cents worth. Come on. I guess my soundboard is not giving me the sounds that I wanted right there. We'll have to see what's happening to the board. Maybe I've been muted. Maybe that's the whole issue right here. We'll figure that out eventually. Oh my gosh. We'll move right along. Even there she's late. What the heck? Comparing to years past, the 2016 fiscal year budget, $5.1 billion in earmarks. That's for just 123 earmarks in this fiscal year 2015. It was $4.2 billion in earmarks, up 21%. And here's the best part of this. And I think that we may even have the president sounding in on this one. Congress came up with a moratorium, no more earmarks, in 2011.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, if you want to see the whole report, just drop me a note. I will share that with you. Unbelievable. There is still a battle going on in Congress. Maybe they're finally, and I've said this right along, that I believe that we have an unconstitutional law that's really hindering many, many folks. But, this is the state of confusion. We don't mind that here in California. But usually the feds are a little bit better about these unconstitutional deals. Republicans are fighting. They've got an assault on Dodd-Frank. Now, have you ever seen a bill that went through in the United States? I think they do these in China. They might do them in Russia. But in the U.S., where you've got the enforcement, judge, jury, and executioner are all the same institution, well, that's called the Dodd-Frank Act. And now we're starting to see there is some pushback. There are some cases. PHH Corporation has taken the CFPB to court. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here because there's no oversight on the CFPB. Congress can't regulate them. They've already, at CFPB, already overruled some administrative judges. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Maybe they'll just get rid of this whole Dodd-Frank Act that is costing you boatloads of money. And I've shared where the boatloads of money are coming from. Yeah, the almost every loan, home mortgage right now, you could probably save 1% on your interest rate if it wasn't for the compliance component that lenders have to charge. 1 full percentage point. So you're looking at a 3.63 30-year fixed rate APOR right now. That would probably be 2.63 or in that range if we didn't have the Dodd-Frank Act. Thank you to the Obama administration for this one again. Unbelievable. But we like to have these things where we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot and then want to blame somebody else. Yes, it is.
This is ridiculous.
Absolutely. Well, get a little lighter information here. Anybody stay up late last night? If you're a sports fanatic, you probably had a very interesting time. Grace, glory, and a storybook ending in Tinseltown. Kobe Bryant going out 60 points last night. And the game-winning points, the game-winning shot. You couldn't have planned that any better. It couldn't have been scripted in Hollywood any better. Unbelievable. Horrible season for the Lakers. Probably a very, very gut-wrenching season for a competitor like Kobe. But it was wonderful seeing how gracious he was. Changed a lot. Maybe we can get Donald Trump to learn from him. A little bit of gracious humility. I would just a personal opinion there. Great night. Hope you enjoyed watching that. I got a lot of the local coverage. I didn't watch the national coverage. Sorry about that. But wonderful evening there. And then this morning, now we're moving a little bit closer. How about this one? Have you seen the report? The Tennessee Titans have traded their number 1 draft pick to the Rams. I wonder who the Rams are going to take with that draft pick. Have you been following that one at all? I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Rams moving back here. I was a Ram fan way back when they were the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know why they want to go to Carson, but I guess everybody has their own reasonings for what they're doing. But the Rams over there moving to Carson, and then now they're going to have the number 1 draft pick. That'll probably get them some good publicity. I don't know. Do you think they gave up too much to get that draft pick? I'm thinking maybe they did, but again, hopefully we'll just get a winner out here. That's the bottom line. If we can get a team that's winning, maybe the Lakers will keep their draft pick if they can. Maybe I don't know if you call that winning in the draft lottery or losing in the draft lottery, but one way or the other, if they do whichever one they need to keep one of those top 3 picks, that might be great also. That baton being handed off, obviously, in the NBA. Steph Curry, 73 wins for his team last night. The issue is going to be there, and this will be on Steve Kerr. Will they care that they have 73 wins if they do not win the championship? And did they put too much emphasis on 73 wins as opposed to getting their players ready and rested for the run to the Playoffs, that's a long time to go. A lot of people don't realize, think about this. When you're looking at NBA, when you win a championship, and if you go to the championship 2 years in a row, it's almost like playing, depending upon how you do in those playoffs, it's almost like playing 2.5 seasons, almost 3 seasons, in the same time everybody else is playing 2 seasons. You got to rest your guys. You got to be ready for that. That's a tough grind, and we'll see how the Golden State Warriors do there, but hopefully the Lakers will get a decent pick and we can actually get back to some winning basketball. Yeah, the Clippers are here, but does anybody watch them? I shouldn't say that. I know some friends do. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, vacation home sales, they're down. Prices up, but the sales are down. Can the government force student debt collectors to help borrowers? Things not to buy with your tax refund? We're going to tackle some homelessness and a lot more. You can reach us anytime. The off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But you can catch it on Ron Siegel and the numeral 1, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, just like about 335,000 other people did last month. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 0186945.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. The reason I say that so bluntly is I've been looking at credit reports for way longer than I want to even mention. And I've never, ever seen a credit report that's accurate. I just saw a report yesterday that says 73% of the reports contain errors. And I wanted to reach out to the person and say to them, can you show me one of those 27% that's accurate? Because I've been looking at the report since the 90s and I've yet to see a completely accurate report. Not one. It's the lobby group. I mean, have you ever heard of an industry that can get 600,000 complaints a year and still be in existence? Well, that's the credit reporting area, but can the government force student debt collectors to help borrowers is our question of the day. There are a lot of issues. Now, you have to understand there are the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Credit Debt Collection Act. There are a lot of laws that help you in this arena, but most people don't know them, so when the laws are broken, they don't know they're being violated. I was looking at a report recently, and this was a collection company that called someone's mother, sent messages to someone's mother, called them at work, tracked them down through an ex-girlfriend, and thank goodness they made the debtor, person that was being chased down, found a good lawyer. And they found out that under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, there's a lot of these issues are not allowable. And they ended up getting a settlement and a check from the debt collector. Now, I'm not an advocate for you not paying your bills. That's not what I'm saying here. But sometimes bad things happen to good people, and there are laws to protect you from harassment. And that's the whole issue right there. So, can the federal government help borrowers? Well, think about this one. Who is the owner of student debt? Well, it's the federal government. They took it over. The federal government's making billions of dollars on the back of our students. Unbelievable. So just think about that issue right there. And I want you to understand that there are solutions. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, and I will put you in touch with the right people to see if we can help you. That is Your Credit Matters, again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. So this morning we are very, very fortunate. We've had some representatives on our broadcast before from the Association of California Cities. First timer, though, on Ron Siegel Radio, Heather Stratman's with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So, being a new CEO,
yes,
that means you got a lot of work to do.
I'm a busy gal. Yeah, I am.
So tell us a little bit about where you came from, your background. Give us a little insight.
Sure. I'm butting up against about 20 years in the government affairs, legislative affairs, public policy arena. I started my career after graduating from the University of Nevada, Reno with the Nevada legislature. And I spent some time, I grew up in Nevada, and when I decided to go back to grad school, I packed up a U-Haul and moved to Southern California. I went back to graduate school and got my MPA at Long Beach State, and I started working for the League of California Cities as a policy analyst.
So explain one thing there for me, because I know that it took me a while to grasp this. The difference between, politics and public policy.
Yeah.
What's the difference there?
Night and day.
So you deal in policy.
Policy. My focus in my career has been policy. That's not to say that politics doesn't enter into the picture as we try to develop policy. Politics is always going to be a part of that. But true policy is aimed at problem solving. Okay.
And we certainly know that politics does not necessarily have anything to do with policy or problem solving. I'm a big proponent in many instances, not all, but many instances, the politics are more about getting elected next time as opposed to solving the problem.
And term limits force that. When you're always up for re-election,
sure.
As an elected official, you have to be thinking about what's ahead in 2 years and raising money and securing your seat. So they are put into that position largely because of term limits.
So do you think the term limits are good or bad then?
There's pros and cons. You can look at it from both ways. I think, recently we have extended the term limits at the state legislature for folks in the Senate and the Assembly, which provides them more time to get things done so that they're not so limited and not hopscotching around. Not all local governments have term limits in place. Some cities do, some don't. Special districts are the same. So the benefits of not having term limits obviously is the institutional knowledge and the history that an official can have by sitting in the same seat for years and years. The negative to that is they hold that seat for years and years, and oftentimes there can be challenges there as well.
They get kind of complacent.
Right.
There is, and that's a big thing. That there's two big sides of that story. It takes everybody a while to figure out what they're doing and how to navigate those things. And obviously, you're probably going through that right now. What, 2 months on as a CEO?
2 months in, yeah.
How do you like it?
I like it. I'm having a lot of fun. I feel like I was the right person at the right time, and I have a great team. I have a wonderful board of directors, and so I feel fortunate.
So what does the association do? There's probably two different issues there. What's the purpose and mission of the association? And on the other hand, what are your, as CEO, priorities?
Sure. So let's start with what is the association. We are collectively, I would say, a forum and a facilitator for cities as they deal with public policy issues and issues that are facing their community. What's special and unique about the Association of California Cities Orange County is we are basically this very large intersection of municipalities, special districts. So we have water, wastewater, transportation agencies, fire authorities that all feed in. So we have this other layer of special districts at the local level that work with our cities. So we pull those two together. But then we pull in the private sector and academia, which that really kind of rounds out, from a public policy standpoint, innovative and creative ways of thinking about problem solving. Oftentimes, the private sector doesn't have the red tape and the bureaucracies that government has to face.
Sure. They
can problem solve quickly. They can be innovative. They don't have to do it in front of the public. So they bring ideas and solutions to the table that without them we wouldn't have the opportunity.
One of the things that I've listened to as I've watched the ACCOC over the years that I've been watching is the idea where they've got these committees that have a very definite start and, more importantly, ending date to come back with solutions. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So we have several committees that have been developed to address specific policy issues. So just to give some examples, we have a committee that is specific to infrastructure and technology. So they look at everything that our cities are grappling with in terms of infrastructure. Today we have a pension committee. We've taken a fresh look at that pension committee, and we're actually retooling it, and we're going to move forward with some innovative ideas on actually providing financial tools that cities can utilize post redevelopment. Cities don't have redevelopment agencies to go to anymore, and post the recession. So our cities are still kind of wheeling their way out of those two major issues that we were dealing with in 2010 through 2014, and they don't have the financial tools that they used to have. So we want to take a fresh look at that, because we're dealing with unfunded pension liabilities, aging infrastructure, and more and more unfunded mandates that come down from the state that cost a lot of money.
Well, we know how the state of California likes to spend our money. We sure follow that one a lot. Just filling up our own gas tanks every day. We see the big differences there. There's a lot going on. But the other part of that, though, is when you set up these committees, and one of the things that I'd really like is they're not forever committees. Like when you're talking about pension, you're not going to be having this pension committee for the next 25 years.
No, absolutely not. The issues change, the issues evolve, and part of the focus of the association is to evolve with those issues. We need to have our finger on the pulse of what are the emerging issues and adjust accordingly.
Great information. We're going to learn more about the Association of California Cities Orange County. Who are they helping? Maybe, are the other counties following their lead? We're going to chat about that more with Heather when we come back. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We'll also talk vacation home sales down, prices up. How does that work out that way? We'll find out about it. And things not to buy with your tax refund. Wonder what those would be. You can reach us anytime. Call the off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. LendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Are you ready to overcome your biggest blocks with money and time? Your solution? Big Profits Now World Summit. The best skills and strategies to double and triple your business profits without doubling or tripling the work. This summit has gathered 24 experts specializing in business growth. It's a free online event that's happening now. Go immediately to claim your free ticket at BigProfitsNowLive.com. Enter your name and email and receive these free video interviews directly to your inbox. Again, that's BigProfitsNowLive.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 0186945.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PEAR, Professional Equity Analysis Review, to 79564 if you want the true amount of equity in your home. You're not going to get it from the online solutions. You have to text PEAR, Professional Equity Analysis Review, to 79564. One of the professionals will reach out to you. I don't do it, but they all know what they're talking about. I hope they know what they're talking about. And they'll give you the information. They need to know what side of the golf course you're on. You know, that's going to be a difference as to what your home value is. If you're on the right side or the wrong side, it's all part of it. Vacation home sales. Sales down, prices up. That seems a little counterintuitive to our concept of supply and demand, doesn't it? National Association of Realtors recently released their 2016 Investment and Vacation Home Buyers Survey. The survey came back with characteristics of both vacation home purchasers and investors. So the survey found that vacation home sales last year declined to an estimated 920,000, down 18.5% from the most recent peak level of 1.13 million in 2014. However, this is still the second highest number of vacation sales since 2006. So I guess so everything's relative, isn't it? We're going to talk about, we'll post an infographic. I think we're going to have that for you tomorrow. That's going to highlight other findings about vacation home sales and the survey. And we're going to give you some more information as time comes by, so make sure you stay tuned. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, text PEAR to 79564. We'll get that information right out to you. We're going to continue our conversation this morning. Heather Stratman's in the house, Association of California Cities, Orange County. We are chatting about Orange County public policy, not politics. I talk about politics. We don't like to put our guests on the hot seat with that one. I just take that myself. So Heather, let me ask you a simple question, or start with one thought here. I know that you're focused on Orange County, but do other counties participate or follow or jump on the coattails of the Orange County Association?
You know, we have the opportunity to partner with other counties on issues of shared interest. I'll give you an example. Homelessness is one.
Okay.
LA County, San Diego County, Riverside County, all of our neighboring counties are dealing with the same issue that we are, and it's a growing problem. Where we have common interests is what are we doing at the state level to ensure that the funding that is coming down from the state to the local jurisdictions is coming into the right places, and we're using it as efficiently as possible. Those are opportunities for the counties to work together. It's a shared interest.
Interesting. Okay, so being that you've got so many cities that you're coordinating with or counseling, I guess is a term, does that end up giving the association or the county a bigger stick when we go to Sacramento or to Washington? Oh,
absolutely. When we can work together to find solutions, it's much easier to approach the state or federal government collectively and say, we as a local government entity have agreed on this is the best solution for us, versus if we all went to them independently and everyone's on a different page, they're going to say to us, go home, get your act together, speak with one collective voice, and then come back to us with the solution.
And that kind of goes back to the topic we talked about in the last segment, where so many politicians are looking for their reelection, right? So if you're coming to them, they realize they have to at least listen. They might not do what you say, but they're going to listen a little bit.
I think they're good listeners, to be honest. I think they're open to ideas and solutions. Oftentimes there's impediments based on current law or restraints in funding, or folks want funding to go in different directions than maybe what we're asking for. So there's always going to be challenges, but
Sure.
The idea is to be problem solvers.
So tell us a little bit about the sober living facilities that you've been working on.
Sober living facilities is an issue that's plaguing targeting California cities, not just in Orange County. It's a statewide issue. This year, the association's running a piece of legislation, AB 2772. It's authored by Assemblymember Ling Ling Chang. The bill basically the goal of the bill, if it reaches the governor's desk, is to empower cities' local ordinances. So it gives cities some authority over these treatment facilities that are housed in their communities. The city can create an ordinance that spells out sort of do's and don'ts for those treatment facilities. But in addition to that, it also gives patients who are seeking care the protections they need. So these facilities need to be licensed by the state of California, which gives them some legitimacy. You don't want to send a patient to a treatment facility that really isn't doing what it's intended to do, and then that patient suffers.
And it's kind of interesting that you bring that one up, and we see that one on our notes here. I happened to be at a very wonderful wine tasting event just recently. I like to go to wine tasting events, and we looked out the front window of the facility, and it's right in downtown Anaheim, right by in the Civic Center area. And you look kitty corner across the street, and there's a halfway house, a sober living facility. Going right across the street from a wine shop might not be the best place to locate for success for some of the folks that were there. It's kind of an interesting one.
It is kind of an interesting one.
So what's going on? We've talked in the past many times about homelessness, Orange County homelessness. I've also been very, very active with our friends over at Solutions for Change in Vista, doing a great job there. Tell us what's going on in Orange County with homelessness.
Several years ago, the County of Orange really kicked off an initiative to start to address the homelessness issue, and they've made great strides. The county's really been sort of the spearhead entity for starting the discussion and starting to put solutions in place. Anaheim and Fullerton have also taken a leading role in creating a shelter in the North Orange County area. Where ACCOC steps in is that basically we're going to feed off of the momentum of both Anaheim and Fullerton as well as the County of Orange. We have a homelessness task force, and the folks that are around the table are everyone from city council members to city managers, city staff. We have folks from the nonprofit community, United Way, and some of the homelessness providers are actually at our table, as well as academia. UCI is a huge partner with us, and they are moving forward with a data collection study that will be very important in terms of how we start to move forward in the next year. That study should be done in about a year, but it's basically collecting data so we can really understand where's the problem, how do we start to tackle this. And to be fair, what works in one community might not work in another. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but you do need collectively to have folks around the table that are from a variety of stakeholder groups that can come together and say, all right, let's roll up our sleeves and let's tackle this.
So I find most areas of public policy is not one-size-fits-all, and more often than not, when we end up getting the federal government involved in it, they have to look from a one-size-fits-all standpoint. It's not that they're bad people, bad intentions. It's just that you can't manage. I think there's 3,000 counties in the U.S., a little over. You can't have a different law for every one of them. How do you manage that, or try to address that so that you don't have one city or one policy that says this facility has to take kids and drug addicts or sex offenders, and this, in order to get funding? How do you deal with some of those things?
Well, from a legislative perspective, you can craft legislation that provides some flexibility, and oftentimes the Fed and the state what they're providing is funding. And so if we have flexibility in how those dollars are used at the local level, through the funding that's actually coming down from the states and feds, that's one opportunity to give us the flexibility we need here at home to say, okay, we want to target dollars towards, our drug courts or towards, social programs that help folks get into jobs and housing and get them off the street so that they can start to move their life in the right direction. But what works here might not work in another part of the state. And so giving us the flexibility we need to spend the resources that are provided is a step in the right direction.
The other part of it that I see as a major problem, and I don't know if it's where the solution maybe UCI will fit into it, is the communities where you put some of the housing facilities. The people in those surrounding communities are always very, very sensitive that it's going to harm their property values, their community. How do you solve that, or how do you educate the population that their concerns are real or fair, or their concerns are not fair?
Well, there's other areas of the country who have created shelters or halfway houses where it's been extremely successful. It doesn't decrease property values. It actually gets folks off the street and into nice living facilities that then contribute back to the community. And so oftentimes it's education. You have to get out into the community and say, this is what can work, and here's a model that can work. I think you also have to listen to your community and involve them and engage them in the discussion versus, you sort of force it down on them. So it's a partnership with your residents as well as with the folks who are trying to address the issue.
It'd be great if we can get the community to understand that, it's a lot of, especially right now with the contentiousness of the political environment, I think people have to start really understanding the fact that whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, a lot of the folks all have the same good intentions in mind, just different ways of going about it. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit when we come back as well. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. How does an organization like ACCOC fund themselves? How do you become a member? We'll talk about that as well. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800 1-800-306-1990 or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Scripps Proton Therapy Center is turning cancer treatment into an art form because life after cancer is a beautiful thing. Learn more at scripps.org/beautiful thing.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by VIP Mortgage. If you are looking for that 3.63% APOR 30-year fixed rate loan, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with somebody over there, and maybe you qualify. I don't know. But we'll see if it works for you. If not, they'll see what makes sense for you, if anything at all. Things not to buy with your tax refund is our topic this morning of the Word on Wealth segment. There's always a lot of things not to buy. But the main reason that I share with you this particular list of things not to buy, basically it has to do with timing. So laptops, computers, tablets, this is not the time of year to buy those items. Save the money, put it aside, buy them at back to school time when they've got the bargains. Mattresses, that's not the time. A lot of people, ironically enough, it's one of the biggest items that people buy with tax refunds. But Memorial Day is actually the time of year when you want to be buying those. Home improvements, this is the time when so many people are out there dealing with home improvements. Again, not the best time when there's so many people trying to move. Wait a little while. Again, patio furniture. August and September are your best times to buy patio furniture. Don't go doing it right now. That's not the time to do it. And just remember the one thing that I hear so frequently: do not put your tax refund into the 401k or the IRA. It is a ruse to steal your money. There are much, much better solutions for retirement savings than the 401k or IRA, which are government ploys to get more money from you. Just my personal opinion, and I will document it to anybody who wants to see those numbers. That is the Mortgage Minute again, or I'm sorry, the Word on Wealth, brought to you by VIP Mortgage. Today, again, I'll put you in touch with someone over there if you want to know if you qualify or what you qualify for. Again, this week's 30-year fixed rate APOR, 3.63%. I'm going to continue our conversation. Heather Stratman, Association of California Cities, Orange County, is in the house, and we're chatting about some of the public policy issues. That's what the association deals with, is policy, not politics. I always love listening to that. If you haven't listened to their podcast, they've got a great podcast they do once a week. And I get a lot of information from it myself. I learn a lot. So it's highly recommend that one as well. How do you get a hold of that podcast, Heather? Actually, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I will anyway. I don't care.
No, it's great. Yeah, thank you for asking. You can visit our website, and there's a link on there. You can click on it and tune into it on a weekly basis. We tape on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. So
great information there. So what are some of the other concerns you see that are facing some of our local cities?
I would say housing. Housing's a big, tough issue right now, and sort of post-recession, the housing issues, the job housing imbalance that we were dealing with, 15 years ago is back, and it's right in sort of full force right now. we don't have affordable housing, and we don't have enough housing stock. So the combined two, you force folks to live out of the area and then drive into Orange County because our economy is strong. We have jobs, which creates massive transportation problems. Anyone who sits on the 91 in either way,
not fun.
It's not fun.
There is no such thing as rush hour on the 91.
That's right.
It's just the 91 and expect traffic.
It's just congested.
So the issue that you're dealing with really is something that you have to wonder, because I talk about all the time, unfortunately, tragically, we lost my professor over at Chapman last Friday, and horrible, horrible situation. But supply and demand, you start looking at housing and you've got the issue that there's not enough supply, which means prices go up. Yet there's not enough monies to afford those. So you're trying to battle supply and demand.
Right, and in Orange County, we're largely built out. So new supply is either going to come in South Orange County, where there's still some room for growth for new housing, and in terms of the rest of the county, where some of our older communities that are completely built out, it's infill development. Well, not all residents are in favor of infill development, so it puts the municipalities in a tough position.
So one of the things we chat about frequently is the ability of people to buy investment properties. Obviously, I just mentioned a little bit earlier about vacation homes. What is the association doing, or is there any activity with the association on the VRBO, Airbnb? You see some of that going positive, negative. Everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, short-term rentals are a big issue. It's a concern for cities. It's a concern for residents. What we are really trying to do is get the right folks to the table to start to say, okay, what can we do about this? Because really, cities can't be policing short-term rentals.
Sure.
And so you really need to get, you need to get homeowners and landlords involved and say, okay, let's find some solutions so that we can find a balanced approach here.
That's going to be an interesting one, because everybody wants to make a little bit of extra money if you got an extra room and try and... It's kind of ironic. I saw an interesting story recently, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but we go and we buy alarm systems for our house and then put our information online to try and rent out a room to somebody that we don't know. Doesn't that seem a little bit backwards? I mean... Just from it's not a policy issue, but it's just a common sense.
Yeah, just personally.
Yeah, a little odd.
Yes.
So tell me about the membership. Who are the members of the association? How does somebody get involved if they want to get involved? How's it funded?
Well, if you want to get involved, contact me. I'll come talk to you.
There's actually work to be done.
There is, absolutely. So you can reach out to us directly. I'm always happy to meet with folks who are interested in partnering with us and seeing if it's a good fit and we can actually service them and provide some value. But our membership is a variety. We represent the vast majority of cities in this county, a huge segment of the special districts. And then, like I said, we have a lot of private sector companies who are partners with us that help to bring solutions to the table, as well as the academia.
Are the private companies, it's really been brought to light recently in the elections. Are the private cities coming to you as a solution partner or trying to get you to lobby? Or do you have to balance that?
You have to balance that, and I think the key there is we have to act and behave in the most transparent manner as possible. We also have to be open and allow a level playing field for all of our participants who are members of ACCOC. That's critical. It can't be seen as a pay-to-play kind of organization. That's a very dangerous road. So my goal with the association is to use the private sector members as problem solvers, as providing solutions. A great example is the California Apartment Association was at our city managers committee yesterday and really gave a snapshot to the city managers about, look, this is what the rental rental market in your community looks like. It was very telling. It was very data driven. But the rental market is really our affordable housing market right now.
Sure.
So it's an important discussion to have. And that's where our private sector partners play an important role in what we're trying to achieve. They provide education, they provide information, and oftentimes they give us opportunities to look at issues in a different way.
And that's one of the brilliant things I think about the association is bringing parties together on a completely different playing field, right? And again, like you said earlier, that you can do these in board meetings where you don't have to have everybody essentially putting on a show, right? I mean, you go to a city council meeting and personal opinion is I think more of that is for show than anything else, because so many of the council members have already done their diligence before they got there. They've made their decisions before they got there. I don't know that they're really changing anything. They're sitting on a dais listening to people giving out their own opinions, which may or may not be an educated opinion. So I think it's great, the idea that you have all of these people coming in there and looking for solutions as opposed to just trying to push an agenda, right? I mean, that's really what the focus is. Again, reach out to Heather if you're looking to try and make a difference. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to get into the politics game. This is probably not the right arena for you. There are other areas that does good work there. But if you want to solve problems, I mean, we had Gail Eastman was on with us just recently. She's really big, I guess, in your committee for housing.
Homelessness. She's
sorry.
Our chair, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, these are people that are just in the community looking to help out.
That's right. We are so blessed to live in this county. It is an amazing place to live, and our goal is to continue to help and be a servant leader in the community, serving the folks that are at the front lines, that are dealing with these challenges and tackling them hands-on. That's our goal. We're here to provide education. We're here to provide resources. We're here to be a forum that facilitates a dialogue that addresses good public policy.
Great information. If you want more information on the Association of California Cities, just reach out to me, and be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to Heather Stratman for joining us today. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, questions, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XAPA 700 AM, Kita Bata Lipunan.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.